Today, we're cracking open the massive, complex blueprint of the Philippine basic education system. I mean, this is a machine that's built to serve millions of people, and we're going to look at every single gear and bolt that makes it run.
So let's start with a huge question, one that's almost hard to wrap your head around. How do you even begin to build an education system for over 20 million students? That's not just a logistics problem, right? That's a challenge of vision, and it's really the core question we're going to dig into. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the foundation, the actual buildings and tools. Then we'll talk about who the system is for and who makes it all run. After that, we'll see how it aims to build up the whole student, and finally, how we check if any of it is actually working.
Okay, first things first, any great structure, any blueprint needs a solid foundation. And in education, that literally means having safe schools and the right tools to learn.
That foundation really begins with the Basic Education Facilities Program, or the BEF. Now, this is about more than just putting up new buildings. It's about creating a place where a kid can actually sit down and focus. So that means fixing up old classrooms, making sure there are desks and chairs, and crucially, making sure the lights turn on and there's clean water. The basics have to be there.
So once the buildings are in place, you gotta fill them with the tools for learning. And there's kind of two sides to this coin. On one hand, you need the absolute fundamentals, like textbooks. But at the same time, you have to equip these schools for the future, right? So that means computers, specialized gear for science and math, and hands-on equipment for those in the technical vocational tracks. So the schools are built, they're equipped, but who are they for? The simple answer is, well, everyone. But everyone is an incredibly diverse, complex group of people.
And this is where you see a core principle in action. This system can't be a one-size-fits-all deal. It has to adapt. So you have targeted programs like special education, or SPED, which gives focused support to learners with special needs. You have madrasa education, which beautifully integrates Islamic values for Muslim students. And then there's the IPED program, which makes sure that for indigenous peoples, learning is always culturally relevant and respectful. But what about learners who just can't be in a typical classroom every day? This is where two super important, but often confused, pathways come into play. Let's get this straight. The Alternative Learning System, ALS, is for people who are out of the formal school system entirely. It gives them a shot to come back and earn a diploma. On the other hand, the Alternative Delivery Mode, or ADM, is for students who are already enrolled but can't make it to class regularly because of, say, distance or work. It's all about providing that crucial flexibility. A blueprint is just a piece of paper. You need skilled architects and engineers to actually bring it to life. And in education, those architects are, of course, the teachers. So let's look at how the system empowers them. To make sure the quality of teaching is always improving, there has to be a clear path for growth. And that's exactly what the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or PPST, is. It's a roadmap. It clearly lays out what a teacher needs to know and be able to do at 4 different stages of their career, from a brand new beginning teacher all the way up to a distinguished teacher who's a leader in their field. And that growth, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. Teachers learn best from other teachers. That's the whole idea behind Learning Action Cells, or LACs. Just think of them as these collaborative workshops right inside the school, where teachers can get together, share what's working, solve problems, and just constantly get better at what they do. Look, education is so much more than just books and tests. The real goal is to help develop well-rounded, healthy, and engaged human beings. This part of the blueprint looks at everything that happens beyond the purely academic. And a perfect example of this is O-Plan Kalusugan sa DepEd. It's this powerful umbrella initiative that's built on a very simple truth. A student's health is absolutely fundamental to their ability to learn. It brings together all these crucial efforts: nutrition, drug education, hygiene, reproductive health, and, so importantly, mental health, because you just can't build a strong mind in an unhealthy body. And that nurturing goes even further, building character and talent. On the physical side, you've got the National Sports Program, which leads up to the famous Palarong Pambasa, fostering real discipline and teamwork. And on the intellectual side, you have campus journalism, which is actually protected by law. It gives students a powerful platform to develop their critical thinking and find their voice. Okay, so the structure is built. The students and teachers are in place, the support programs are all running, but how in the world do we know if it's actually working? This final piece of our blueprint is all about measurement, quality control, and second chances. To check its own health,
The system uses a whole range of tests at really important moments. It starts super early with LNA to make sure young kids have those basic reading and math skills down. It uses diagnostic tools like PhilIRI to zoom in on specific skills like reading. And then you have the big ones, the National Achievement and Exit Assessments, to see if students are genuinely ready for whatever comes next. But here's the thing about measurement. It's not just about evaluation. It's also about creating new doors, new opportunities. And that is the entire spirit behind the Philippine Educational Placement Test, or PTPET. It's designed to assess what out-of-school learners already know so they can be placed in the right grade level. It's a genuine second chance to get back in the game and finish their education. So we've walked through this entire massive blueprint. The buildings, the learners, the teachers, the tests. But as we wrap up, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In a structure this huge, what's the glue that really holds it all together? A system is so much more than its programs. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think is the single most critical element for its success? Thanks for digging into this with me.